And welcome along, everybody. We are in Riga, the capital of Latvia, the largest city of the Baltic states, where we've come for the final of Bigger's Better 2012. Tonight, then, 8 of the best that we've had this year. Mazikin, Lazaridis, Orlov, Oriang, Yastrevsky, Glukov, Bradis, and Mazlobiev. They will compete to find out who is going to be the Bigger's Better King of 2012. The total prize money on offer tonight, $30,000. The winner will walk away with 15, and that was Steve Smoger, the referee, who is going to be in charge of tonight. There was a picture there of one of the favourites of the night, Alexei Mazikin. Certainly one of the most experienced here. Alongside me, also a man of experience, is Richie Woodall. Richie, this has been not a bad event this year, but the boxing, the quality of it has been better than it was the year before.
It's starting to gain a little bit of momentum now, hasn't it, this Bigger's Better tournament? And yeah, we've seen some lads come through that aren't too bad.
Who are you going to choose for tonight? Who's the favourite?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I actually think, Tim, that Bradis and Lazaridis are two of my favourites here tonight, and they're actually drawn against each other in the first round, so they're two previous winners, and they're up at, that's the look of the draw, isn't it? And they're two good boxers. One of them's got to go out. If I had to put money on it, I think Lazaridis has the tools to actually win this tournament, so my eye is on him, Lazaridis.
Let's get the introductions then for the first fight.
Exclusive on Eurosport. Tonight, the winner takes all.
Labvakar, Latvia! Turnīrs Bigger's Better King 2012. Šovakar gaidāms maģisks pasākums. Šo te grandiozo šovu mēs varēsim vērot tiešajā translācijā Eurosport kanālā. Vienā vakarā izšķirsies viss. Uzvarētājs paņems visu!
This is the time now for the first quarterfinal. In the blue corner, coming from Russia, Evgeny Orlov.
So here we go then, Evgeny Orlov. Fought a few names down the course of his career. He's 33 years of age. He's been in the ring with Marius Vak, that was early on in his career. Attila Levin, Francisco Pianetta, and Pulev as well. He was disqualified against Pulev. He's lost against the others all on points. He's one of these that is put in as an opponent to rough up and survive against up-and-coming fighters, because all those we just mentioned were in the early stages of their career.
Yeah, but the thing I like about Orlov, he always looks out of shape, but in this tournament, he's acquitted himself quite well. He's a previous winner, and so he's big, bullying tactics, and he gets the job done. And that's what you've got to do in this tournament, so he's got some good experience.
Alexei Mazikin then coming into the ring. This guy, again, is hugely experienced. Mazikin lost to Audley Harrison, you might remember, back in the Olympic Games in 2000. That's where he first came to prominence. Went on to fight Shagayev, lost to him in the Worlds. Povetkin, he faced him, lost to him in the Goodwill Games in 2000. Camarelli for Italy, another one in the 2004 Olympics. He lost to him as well, all on points. And elsewhere, during the course of his pro career, he's been in with the likes of Odlanier Solis.
In the red corner, for the history years old, standing 2 meters 7 centimeters, weighing 149 kilograms. He is the winner of Bigger's Better 11 this year. Coming from Russia, Evgeny Orlov.
6 fights this year for Orlov. He's won the last 4. A 3-on-1 night in France, where he was fighting in Issy-les-Moulineaux in what looked like to be a prize fighter type series. So he's been quite busy this year.
Weighing at 117 kilograms.
Well, he's up against it tonight, Tim, Orlov, in Mazikin. who is one of the tournament favourites here.
Well, Orlov actually beat Mazikin in Cyprus in 2010, so this is something of a rematch. He's only 27 years of age as well, Alexei Mazikin. And in terms of his condition, he's looking a bit better these days because he did his weight did fluctuate rather a lot, actually. He looked like a mini Orlov Solis at times.
Big applause for Mr. Steve Smoger.
Here he is. He's almost as famous here now as Mazikin and Orlov.
Instructions, please obey my commands, respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. This is a clean shot. This is clean over here for you. Corners. Touch. Come back. Come back. My bad. Touch him up. Touch. Thank you.
This is the first fight. 3 minutes, 3
The
rounds.
Russian Orlov against Ukrainian Mazikin. 6 years, the junior Mazikin. Very experienced amateur and quite an experienced pro as well. He might not have had a lot of success in terms of bouts won, but he's been in with highly experienced ring technicians. He's been in with world champions. He's been in with European champions. So this one might not last too long, but Orlov has got a big right hand. So for once, the billing of bigger's better is quite true, because this might be one punch and good night if either of them land.
Yeah, Orlov is one of those type of boxers. It's very hard to judge. Look at the shape of him. He like I've said before, he always looks out of shape, if anything. But in his previous tournaments here, then, you know, he won it. He was bullying tactics. He was on the front foot. He really imposed his style on his opponents, and they couldn't cope. So method in his madness, most certainly, and gets behind that long jab and tries to deliver that right hand there. So Mazikin has got to keep his wits about him, just box with the hands nice and high, and maybe target the body here, Mazikin.
It's something that heavyweights don't often do, is it? Target too much of the body. They're always too busy looking for the grand finale, the big headshot. But there's a lot of body in front of Mazikin to actually take advantage of. See if he can actually do that. Once this year, Mazikin against Ed Gerber, who you might remember is actually fighting Michael Sprott tomorrow night. But he didn't get past that, but he's an opponent. He's a challenger rather than anything else.
Yeah, what Mazikin has got to target here, Tim, is working downstairs, 3s and 4s downstairs, and then maybe switch the attack to the head. But most certainly, as Orlov's coming forward, he's not difficult to hit. There's a big target there, so he's got to switch the attack here, Mazikin. Start downstairs and then switch with the headshots.
Well, there's not much time for science in this format, really, is there? There's no chance of actually applying real tactics to this. It's just go out and see if you can batter your opponent. Nothing really landed of any significance from either fighter so far.
You see, Mazikin, he's just concentrating on this right hand over the top. He knows that Orlov's got a slow left hand, and so that's what he's targeting. But I'd just like to see maybe just drop downstairs with maybe...
Yeah, that's a bit
there
better.
they are, look, there you go. Left up to the body. And maybe a straight right hand to the body and a left up to the head.
Went a bit low with that, but you're absolutely right. He's changed tack midway through this round. He wasn't getting any joy whatsoever, Mazikin going for the head. And so he switched in the last 30 seconds of that round to try and take advantage of the body shots and slow Orlov down a bit. It is frustrating for you, must be, as a pro, to look at a guy like that who's obviously got the basic raw materials to get in and be a professional fighter. And you know that if he was that serious, if he was a couple of stone lighter, he'd be 50% a better boxer.
Most certainly, because like all Russians, they're very well schooled. They do the basics very well. They work behind their jab. They have a great amateur system, do the Russians. So yeah, he will have he will have the knowledge and he will have the trainers there, but he's just he's got to apply. His application's got to be a lot better, Tim, in the gym, most certainly. He's got to get to work and get on the road. A little bit low there with the left hand, but he has got the basic tools, boxing skills, Orlov.
Well, these two know each other because they've got the same manager.
They probably sparred each other as well, if that's the case. I think they're both based in Berlin, aren't they?
Yeah, again, he's just been warned there, Mazikin, about low blows. There were a couple toward the end of the first round.
Now, what Orlov's got to do here, Tim, he's got to start throwing this right uppercut. There it was there, that was downstairs. So as Mazikin's coming, walking forward, just measure with the jab and then throw that right uppercut through the middle. There it is again, look. And that's a shot that he could have some success with.
Well, Mazikin has gone from working to the body at the end of that round to actually coming back in, looking to swing this big overhand right. And he caught him on the back of the neck, and Orlov is just letting him know that. And he's done him again there as well. Now he's caught him. Now Orlov closing in here. Steve Smoker just stepping in to separate the two. A little bit of edge creeping into this performance here.
Yeah, Mazikin's just lost his way a little bit here, mainly because he's allowed Orlov to lean on him. He's a much bigger man, remember, and that's going to tire Mazikin out. So he's got to concentrate on his attacks and then moving away.
Format's the same as ever, really. 3 rounds. So you've got no time to go rounds behind, and a bit of a wild miss with that right hand then by Orlov, who in his time has also tried his hand at kickboxing, was a world champion kickboxer back in 2005-06.
Stay up, stay up.
Well, it's messy, this.
You're going to watch the heads clashing as well there. But Orlov again coming forward, using his jab a lot more now. Needs that right uppercut and maybe finish on the left hook also.
Had a couple of good battles in his time with Konstantin. There you go, that's a bit better.
There you go.
Just a couple of body shots, followed it up with the right hand.
See, that was the shot we were talking about, that straight right to the body. He also threw that left hook in as well. Had some success there, Mazikin.
I mean, he is trying to move a mountain in there.
Yeah, well, that's why you've got to hit and you've got to move around the side of Orlov. You can't allow Orlov to lean on you. It's going to tire you out, you see, so he's best either move back once and then off to the side, or just hit and then move. But if you hit and fall in, he falls on top of you and then tires you out.
He said he's been in with world champions. He fought Gomez. Remember, beat Oliver McCall. And it was a point on that now. Wild swings here. And neither are landing much of any significance throughout the course of that round. Perhaps, I suppose, if you had to lean toward one, would you have led toward Mazikin for the cleaner body shots?
Maybe for the first part of the round, especially. Did a little bit better work, but this fella keeps coming forward, and some judges, you know, they like a boxer on the front foot, so I've got Mazikin just ahead, to be quite honest, but who knows, it could be 1 round apiece. But on my scorecard, then Mazikin's just done the better work. That was much better.
That was the best combination we've seen in that round.
Yeah, straight right to the body, left hook.
Well, he had 80-odd fights as an amateur. He's always on the cusp of winning things, only to be defeated by the very best of the time was Mazikin.
This is the final
So here we go, the
round.
third and final round then.
Thank you for your support.
I think they made a mistake, actually, with Mazikin's age. Just thinking about it, there is no way, obviously, that he's 27, just in case you're sitting there, back there thinking he got to the Olympic final when he was 15. So I think it's probably, he's closer to 37 than 27. So he's actually Orlov's senior rather than his junior.
Got some great heavyweights come out of the Ukraine, wasn't there? 2 Klitschko's.
Well, it's funny, we were just talking about the 2 of them just before we came on air, about this decade more of dominance of this division.
There's that straight right hand again. And now what he needs to do after that, he just finish on the left hook. Right hand to the body and then left hook to the chin. And that may just bring the guard down of Orlov a little bit more.
He's trying to move out the way. He's trying to use his jab, Mazikin. It's all a bit in slow motion, but he's managing to slip the punches of Orlov.
Yeah, similar tactics, Orlov, in the last tournament as well. On the front foot, imposing that style, and he wears his opponents down. Look.
Hasn't yet, though, landed anything big like he did in the tournament we saw him win.
There's no real finesse to his work, but keeps coming forward. He's prepared to take a shot as well, Orlov, to land his own.
So if you're thinking you might have seen him in the UK, that was a better right hand that from Orlov. And Mazikin's down, but that is not a knockdown.
I'd like to see that again.
Yeah, that was a big shot.
Oh, what's going on here? There's a minute to go.
Well, there was a minute left on the clock. Well, somewhat bizarre that we've had a stoppage in the middle. The bell went with a minute left on the clock.
I'm thinking if the timekeeper's been mistaken there and thought it was a 2-minute round. Very disappointing. But
here's the punch coming up in any second now. No, that's not it. Well, that's so. How bizarre is that?
Yeah,
they've ended the fight.
They made a mistake,
Tim. On the clock.
He thinks that. I think the timekeeper.
I remember that with Danny Williams a few years ago.
He obviously thinks it's a 2-minute round.
I was going to say, if you thought you recognised this guy, he did fight at the Alexander Palace to a guy called Gregory Tony. Well, we started with a bit of controversy here because there's no explanation given. I think Orlov, the reason. I think they've just got it wrong. They thought, as you said, it's a 2-minute round.
And I think Orlov will be the most disappointed there because he was coming on strong. Still a little bit behind on my scorecard, but nevertheless, we know that's his style. He comes forward, and Mazikin was starting to show signs of getting a little bit ragged, a little bit tired. And so that last minute for Orlov, disappointing.
Winner by unanimous decision and qualified for the semi-final, Alexei Mazikin.
Well, he's got a bit of revenge after being beaten by Evgeny Orlov in Cyprus back in 2010. Mazikin will go on into the semi-final. Not the most auspicious of starts because he was under a bit of pressure there toward the end of that fight. And had it not been for the fact that the bell rang a minute early, he might have, well, been in a bit of trouble.